and just climbed Whitney, had a hot bowl of ramen. It was all cozy in my tent. I was in my sleeping bag even. But I'll tell you, this fresh snowfall has done something that I never even considered. It has covered up all the smells on the forest floor. So all I'm smelling right now is this crisp, sweet aroma of pine trees. It smells good. It smells really, really good. And I would not have experienced that had I not gotten pushed out of my comfort zone, out of my Big Agnes Copper Spur UL2. It's the best forest smell I've ever smelled, and that says a lot because I'm from the Northwest. But it is fresh and it is fragrant, and I'm gonna enjoy it all the way to the ranger station here on day 58 at Mount Whitney, just off the Pacific Crest Trail in California. Good morning. I'm at the Mexico border. I spent the night here last night. You can see the wall behind me. And just where that truck is, I think they just dropped off somebody who's going to through hike the PCT. The monument is back there. I came in the night. I was the only one here, so I spent the night. A few people have been dropped off, but this is it. I'm going to pack up my tent. Maybe shoot a photo of the monument and start walking north to Canada. Feels weird to be the only one out here. All right, here's the monument right here. The trail is behind me. That little tiny sign back there. I don't know how far we'll get today. Maybe 10 miles. Not make it too extreme on the first day. But because of the water situation, it looks like I'm going to be doing a 20-mile day. The place where I was planning on stopping is apparently seasonal, which means this is not the season. I found a cactus. It's not bad. I think I'll have some more and hopefully make it to the lake and refill my water. Don't hike without water, people.
Eventually, I made it to Lake Morena and collapsed. I barely had the strength to fill my water bottle, but when I did, I drank deeply, then vomited shortly later. Apparently, drinking too much water in a dehydrated state is bad. Trail angels Robert and Elizabeth saved me. I drank 4 7-Ups and 2 Coca-Cola Classics, and then ate a hot dog. After chatting with Elizabeth, I discovered she lost her mother and grandmother in a house fire the week prior. My mom would have wanted me to do this, she said. Angel indeed.
Well, if this is not stunning, I don't know what is. Maybe it's because I'm from the Pacific Northwest and we don't get a whole lot of vistas like this. Of course, I'll be singing a different song when it comes to switchbacking up that little hill over there. Right now we're at 2,300 feet. I'm not sure what that's at. I guess we'll find out. There's no sense in worrying about it. Here's Mike and Connor waiting for me as usual.
Just took a baby wipe shower. It was divine.
What is a baby wipe shower?
They
for
got
those
baby
of
wipes right there.
baby wipes there?
I just wipe them up.
So this is what is known as trail magic, I guess, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
So we've got water here. We've got, what else do we have? Baby powder.
Baby powder.
The cooler's pretty dirty.
What's in the cooler?
Some pistachios and a little kernel to write in.
Cool.
Awesome.
And a place to dump our trash.
Oh yeah.
Dude, this place is amazing.
Yeah, the desert's insane.
This is so much cooler than I ever thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, it's great to have a John Wayne film. Beautiful.
How many miles did we hike today?
16, I think. 16, 17, around that.
16, 17. I'm getting kind of used to it. It was a better day today.
Yeah, I felt fine.
Yeah, you felt fine.
Yeah.
Here's our campsite. Camping in the desert next to cacti.
Let's make shit.
How much water do we have here?
We got a couple liters. Enough to make dinner.
Yeah.
Dinner and drink. Water. Where's shower?
Right. We are not nearby any sort of spring or lake or river or anything.
First real remote camping.
Yeah, this is it.
Nice.
This is off the beaten path. The beaten path is just right behind Mike. In fact, people will probably walk by and not even see us tomorrow. I'll tell you something. There is a case to be made for not starting in April and starting in March. The desert is actually quite pleasant and mild, but last night was the most pleasant night. All of 3 of us had a great night's sleep. The moon was out, stars were out. It was warm, no wind, didn't wake up with ice on our sleeping bags or on our tent. It was great. Mike and Connor are ahead of me. There's a guy from Texas who goes by Chaucer who is hiking with them. They have a much quicker pace than I do, so whenever they stop, I'll catch up with them. I'm probably 5 or 10 minutes behind them at this point. Somewhere down in that valley below is the town of Warner Springs. That is the goal for tomorrow. If we reach it tomorrow, that will be 110 miles since Campo, since the Mexican border. And tomorrow, there's a restaurant waiting for us. So it's amazing what motivates a person out here. Day number 8, Section A, our last day in Section A in California on the Pacific Crest Trail. Warner Springs is over there, and that is where pizza and beer and Wi-Fi and hopefully some way to get clean awaits us. We really want to get clean in a big way.
Much needed.
Much needed. We stink. PCT Section B, Southern California, Day 8, I'm pretty sure. Left the town of Warner Springs several hours ago. And it's a great little hiker town, by the way. There is a hot spring there, which has kind of been closed down, but I'm told is reopening this summer. The best thing, in my opinion, was the bucket shower at the community center. Thanks to all the folks there who provide all of that. And also had a delicious dinner and breakfast at the bar and grill at the golf club at the 19th hole. And maybe we'll report back from our campsite, see what the boys have found. They're very restless. Mike's in timeout. I don't know what he did. What'd you do, Mike?
You don't want to know.
Connor's decided to do some cowboy camping. Let's check out his setup here.
Cowboy.
Hanging out.
Yeah, there's been a couple of mozzies out, but only a couple.
Just a couple there.
It hasn't been too bad.
Got me a gorgeous tonight. Get some stars in.
Yeah.
It feels good to be on the trail again. A lot of folks seek the trail to prove their independence, but I've found the exact opposite to be true. I think the trail proves just how much we need each other. From water caches, to trail beta, to just human interaction, to pooling resources, we need each other, and it is a huge benefit to be a team player.
The great city of Idlewild, CA. I think we're 2 weeks in at this point. We're staying at this place called the Silver Pine Lodge, just right in town. Actually, everything is in town here in Idlewild, where the dog is a mayor. Anyway, this is our room right here, number 9. Let's go in and see what's happening on the inside. This is what you get when you have 5 dudes splitting a hotel room. 5 Pacific Crest Trail hikers. Let's see. It looks like it's food planning day.
Oh yeah.
Let's take a look what we have here on the menu. Josser's got a custom-made
Pot koozie. We have food for next 5 days, and we have resupply being sent a week ahead. So pretty good.
Now, how many days is in that bag right there?
This is 5 days.
Yep.
Probably about 12 pounds.
12
so
pounds.
A little bit extra and 2 pounds of food a day.
Nice. Any favorite item that you're looking forward to?
More. Duke's original recipe.
Nice.
Delicious.
Excellent.
It's a little overwhelming right now.
Uh-huh.
Not too much.
Let's take a look at Mike. Mike is eating super healthy. This is 5 days worth of food.
5 days.
Mike, that's
This is
literally
5
80%
days.
candy.
Worth of food.
Calories, right?
Dude.
8 different types of candy.
I like Mike's style.
Full cheese.
Wow.
I feel like I'll give you
Nice.
the
Wow.
That's 40 with 5 portions of cheese a day right there.
That's basically the 4 food groups right there, the way I'm looking at it. We have coffee, Crystal Light, lots of different stuff, salami and cheese. Baby food. Renee taught me this trick. She said, just for your fruits and vegetables, go for some baby food. This is what hikers eat for 5 days. Next stop is Big Bear CA, and we will repeat this process again and again and again, all the way down the trail.
April 4th, day 15. I'm so excited to be back in my tent. Town is nice, showers, food, etc., but there's a definite pull that is felt. The pull of the wilderness, the pull of the trail. I hiked with Shenanigans for a few hours today. He's got dreads, beard, red hair, in his mid-40s, total hippie, and he and I had a great conversation. He hadn't talked to his dad in 14 years, but reached out before his hike. Now there is reconciliation and hope where there was none. Camp tonight consisted of Connor, Mike, Chaucer, James and Kaylee from England, Lucas, Switzerland, and Rick from Colville. Rick made a fire ring and a great evening fire. All of us had a great dinner around the fire. Life is so simple and so amazing. I feel like the trail is its own country, and only we are its citizens. We are becoming a tight-knit community, and the community is an adventurous kind. Nobody else is going through this but us. Our worlds have become very simple and very small, and we share it together.
Day 16, Pacific Crest Trail, California, Section B. Last day for Section B. We started the day close to 9,000 feet, and we have got a bone-jarring descent today, all the way down to Interstate 10. And it's going to be a 20-mile day, mostly downhill, which is not my favorite. Definitely prefer going uphill. But the good news is the wind stopped. We had a very windy night last night. It looks like we're going to have some great vistas, as you can see. I feel like we're already in the Sierras. I know we're a long ways from them. We're not even to the Mojave yet, but it sure feels like it with all these big granite boulders everywhere and large pine trees everywhere. So this is a 20-mile hike with no water. So right now I've got 3 liters. It'd be probably better to have 4. But since it is downhill and it's not that hot, 3 should suffice. And you can usually find some sort of water that's not on the map or not on the app. And plus the boys, I think they each have 5 liters. So I will continue this bone-jarring descent and hopefully report back, if not sooner, down at the bottom at Interstate 10 and the beginning of Section C. Hey Connor, what day is it?
Day 18 or 19?
19, I think.
19?
I think it's 19.
I guess we're going with day 19.
19, what's our plan today, fellas?
20-mile day. Go past Onyx Peak.
Onyx Peak.
Yep.
It's closed, so we're going through it.
Fire closure. Got to push 20 miles.
Yep, it is 8:30.
That's early. That's an early start for us.
We're the last ones to leave.
Killing it.
Again.
Killing it.
12 tents in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12 tents in this little
Yeah, we
place.
had a ton. Was there 12 tents?
Well, yeah, you were
Or-
the 12th. Yep.
There was 12 tents
12
in here?
tents in
Oh
this
my
little
goodness.
site.
And you can see yet another forest fire. How long ago was this fire, do you think? 2 years ago, maybe? 3 years ago? I'm getting better at identifying them.
Mm-hmm.
The bark is still on the trees.
Apparently 3 years after a burn is when the trees start to fall.
Oh, 3 years after the burn, the trees start to fall. And I
Some-
thought, yes, because there's
some
still
lady
bark
told us.
on this.
Yeah.
Notice that on the older fires, the bark falls off. So it's kind of nice hiking through a forest fire, actually. You still can see the sky. It's open, it's blue. Today it is, at least. It has been almost every day for us, actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's been pretty nice. How you feeling, Mike?
Doing great.
Yeah.
Doing grand.
Any particular reason for that?
You know, just nature.
It's nature. It's
Oh,
nature.
isn't it neat?
Nature. Nature, people. What do you do when you're in the wilderness and you're at your last water stop and it's 20 miles to the next water stop? The first thing you do is you camel up. That means you pound a liter of water. So here's the remaining part of my liter. Oh boy, that's good. And the next thing you do is you bring 3 or 4 liters of water with you. And look at this lovely water supply. Ew. But this is all we have out here. So, this is why we bring a water filtration system. So yes, people, I am gonna drink this stuff. This fancy attachment on the top of this bottle, it's just a screen. It's just a pre-filter to get all the sediment. You could do the same thing with a handkerchief or a bandana or a piece of cheesecloth. So I'll put my water bottle in here. And now I've got a full liter of unpurified, really unfiltered water. I've had this for over 10 years, so I know it works. I trust it. It's called a SteriPen. It's battery operated. You push a button, and then you stick it in the water, and essentially it's an ultraviolet light that kills everything. It kills viruses, it kills bacteria, it kills organisms, it kills amoebas, it'll kill AIDS, it'll kill Ebola. It's a nuclear option. It just kills everything. The little dead, pieces of whatever are still in there, so you're still drinking a dead amoeba, but it's dead, it's inert, it's inactive, and it's okay to drink. And I'm here to testify that because I've been using it for a long time, and believe it or not, I've consumed water out of stuff that's even worse than this, and I've never gotten giardia, I've never gotten sick. So anyway, this is the process. I've already cameled up with 1 liter. I've got 20 more miles to go, so I'll probably bring 3 liters, maybe 4. Depends on how heavy my pack feels and how patient I am in filtering. But yeah, that's the procedure out here in the wilderness. You got to take what you can get when you get it, because if you don't, then you're going to be very thirsty with nothing to drink.
Over 200 miles hiked. I don't know if I can do long days. Today was 18 plus miles. I felt great for the first 10, but the rest hurt. It's not muscle fatigue, it's joints, hips, knees, bottom of feet. It's like every injury I've had in the past comes roaring back to life. I keep telling myself if I push on and press through the pain, it will get better, right?
A little insight as to how I try to keep myself clean out here in the wilderness. I like to try to stay as clean as possible. Hygiene is always a challenge out here, but it is doable if you have a few simple things and you're an opportunist. And this morning the opportunity has presented itself with a beautiful little creek here. This is Holcomb Creek. I camp nearby. I have a few things that I always carry with me. Some sort of soap. Typically it's camp soap. In this case it's Castile hemp peppermint soap. It smells great. I always have a bandana. I have my handy dandy razor here. This is the same blade. This is a tough razor. I've been using it for 3 weeks with no shaving cream. Still works great. And then I'll also have this, this is an emergency signaling mirror, but it also doubles as a shaving mirror. So typically what I'll do is I'll take my bandana and my soap and soap it up, get it wet and sort of rub it together. This does a couple different things. Number one, it cleans my bandana. And number two, it cleans my face. And oftentimes I'll try to do this at night whenever possible because I like to get into the sleeping bag nice and clean. But I'll get my face nice and wet. You can do this without soap. I've done it without soap many times. It works just as good. And get a nice kind of a lather going. Then I'll take my razor and just shave. Just using this, in this case, this creek water just to kind of rinse it off. And you know, I like to stay clean shaven. I'm not a hiker that likes to have a big Forrest Gump beard and be stinky. Nothing against the gals and the guys who prefer that method. But just for me, I like to try to stay as clean as possible. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel a little bit more like a human and not a barbarian or a Neanderthal. But again, you know, nothing against the people who don't choose to do this stuff. But I'll go ahead and shave, and then I'll use my little mirror just to touch up the sideburns because it's all about looking good out here. And that's pretty much it. Then I'll go ahead and brush my teeth. And the rest of my bathing program, I'm not going to show you because it involves taking off articles of clothing, but you get the same idea. A bandana, some soap. Do that once a day, and boy, I'm smiling. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like I'm ahead of the game. So, and then, of course, you know, swimming whenever possible is a great way to clean off, too. But yes, it is possible to stay clean out here in the wilderness. I know that's why a lot of people don't go backpacking because they're afraid that they're not going to be able to stay clean. If you are a little prepared and you're an opportunist and you got to be a little bit tough, sometimes the water's really cold, but it can be done, people. It's possible. You can stay squeaky, freshly clean out here in the wilds of the wilderness. Anyway, just thought I'd kind of share that with you on the Pacific Crest Trail. At the I-18 interchange on the Pacific Crest Trail just outside of Big Bear, California. Super nice person named Amy who works at the Frontier Lodge gave us a ride here. So it's...
Thank you, Amy.
Thank
Saved
you,
us
Amy.
so much time.
Thank you so much. Lifesaver.
Thanks, Amy. All good.
Amy, you already know how I feel about you. So thank you very much.
How is that? How do you feel?
Oh, nothing but love, Amy.
There you go.
Pure love. So hopefully we'll see you again sometime. Thank you. You can see behind me, ta-da, that would be Big Bear Lake and the town of Big Bear Lake.
April 11th, day 22, 294 miles in. I'm camping alone tonight, and I love it. Not a soul anywhere around. I have a terrific spot on the flat, sandy ground. There's a creek just a few feet away. My tent is protected behind a large granite boulder. The best part? An awesome fire. It's built like an oven. with small rocks creating 3 walls. I felt like a cowboy on the frontier camping with a fire under the stars. It is a feeling of simple peace and freedom.
Morning. It's day 23 on Section C of the Pacific Crest Trail. I woke up in an absolute panic this morning because a few raindrops had hit the tent, and let me tell you, nothing motivates a backpacker to get packed up like rain. So I'm wearing all this rain gear. And as you can see, it's all of a sudden nice out. So the skies are clearing. Looks like a good morning. I got a fire going. I've got some delicious Starbucks Via and the Breakfast of Champions. The honey bun. Can't recommend the honey bun enough. Today, hopefully I'll meet up with the fellas again. But there's a hot spring in order today, somewhere down the trail, a natural hot spring with many different pools of temperatures of water, and even a swimming hole. So really looking forward to that. These are the little treats on the trail that are gems that you look forward to for days in advance.
It's really nice.
Oh man, how nice is this? This is absolutely incredible. This is so much beyond what I had imagined when somebody said that there was a hot spring. I was picturing like a muddy hole in the ground with some stinky smelling water bubbling out of it. The water doesn't smell at all. There's no hint of sulfur. There's no road that goes here, only hiking trails. The box was saying there's no cell service. This place is absolutely unbelievable. Definitely spending the night here tonight. I might even fall asleep in this pool. If I don't come back, I'll probably hear. ICB, 4 shoes. This may seem like an insignificant spot on the trail, but it's very significant. Why is it significant?
Because we're eating lunch.
It's true. Let's go ahead and show everybody our lunch first of all. Start with the, yeah, we'll start with Jay Boogie over there. He eats dried ramen for lunch, and that's all. Just straight into the ramen hole.
Yep.
What are you eating?
I had pepperoni pizza
You had a calzone, didn't you?
on a tortilla.
And how do you make one of those?
You take a tortilla
Uh-huh.
and you take a string cheese.
Uh-huh.
What are you doing?
Are you making one?
No,
I'll show them how to
I
make
already
it.
ate 2.
Okay. Wait, so you've taken
String
your
cheese.
tortilla,
Yeah,
there's
just
the
like
string
that.
cheese.
Imagine there's pepperoni there, then you just go
You
wrap
roll
it
up, yeah.
and you go right into it. Plastic and all, 'cause you need
Touch
calories.
my food with your nasty hands.
Uh-huh. Are you having the same thing? A calzone?
Salami with a block of cheddar.
Nice. And I am having a delicious meal. Here, I'll see if I can show it here. It's a half a bagel with cream cheese, and then string cheese on the cream cheese, and then a sausage that looks like a hot dog. And the reason we're eating so well today is because, what mile number are we at?
500.
500. There's no marker out here commemorating it. We're just guessing that maybe this is 500-ish. There was a few rocks back there. But 500 miles, we're not even 20% done yet.
Nope. We got to do this another 4 times and then some.
Just think of how much dry ramen that is.
It's a lot.
Day number 30, Section Delta Pacific Crest Trail here in California. I'm here with Special K
Hello.
From?
How are you? Colorado.
from the great state of Colorado, the Rocky Mountain State, people. And she has made a discovery, which if you follow her trekking pole, what's out there? What did you find? What do you see? Tell us all about it.
It would be Mount Whitney. As the as the crow flies 150 miles north. It is our first 14er.
It's our first 14er. It's the highest point in the lower 48.
Oh yes, we did make that
Yeah.
decision, even though he's angry about
I
it.
am bitter about it. Anybody from the Northwest knows that Mount Rainier is the proper, it should hold the title, but unfortunately Mount Whitney does. Hiking with Bible. Bible's up there. This is a little taste of what the terrain looks like. It is snowing just a little bit, but look around. I think we're at 9,600 feet right now. Bible and I have hiked up to our campsite, which is going to be somewhere in these boulders. Speak of the devil. He's right here. He's scoping out a site for his tent.
No, you don't want to go back there and look.
Oh. Well, look at this beautiful view. Gorgeous sunset. Spectacular. And it's snowing. Day 56 here in California in the Sierras. And the Sierras are working me over. I think right now we're at 12,000 feet. And man, am I feeling this altitude. Feels like you're breathing through a straw. Just, you can never get enough oxygen. It was a cold night last night on the lake, but what a beautiful sight to wake up to. It's our first real alpine lake after 760 miles. Finally hit a real, actual, natural lake. Here it is, Chicken Spring Lake. So I'm marching onward. There's actually a ranger station about 1.5 miles up, sort of at the base of Whitney. Hopefully it'll be open. Hopefully can get some info. Plan is to get some info and then camp at a place called Guitar Lake, and then get up early in the morning, summit Whitney, come back down, and come back down on the JMT, the John Muir Trail, and basically be on that until Yosemite. That is the grand plan here on the Pacific Coast Trail, day number 57 in California. Day 57, California Pacific Crest Trail. I don't know what lake it is because I'm too cold to pull out my map and look. That's one thing that this lake and I have in common. It's we're both very cold. Welcome to the High Sierras, people. This is what I had in my mind when I pictured the High Sierras. Oh wait, there's a tent down there. Maybe this is Guitar Lake. Hallelujah. Well, whatever it is, I think I'm gonna camp here for the night. Crest Trail, day 58. Heading up towards the summit of Mount Whitney. Right now I'm at 12,300 feet or something like that. Way down there, right there, you can see the icy edge of Guitar Lake, which is where I camped. Tried to get an early start this morning. Got a little bit later than I anticipated, but that's okay. I like this daylight and the sunrise. I'm just resting right now. The route is not technical. It's just the altitude. Slow going. And 2,000 more feet of elevation gain. Get up that guy right there. This appears to be the most technical part so far. So I put away the trekking poles. Gotten out the ice axe just in case. It's probably fine. The snow's still really solid and frozen. But I didn't bring this thing all the way up here not to use it. So the ascent continues. Here's the summit, right here. This is I think it's known as the Whitney Shelter. Oh yeah. There's the trail register. Wait.
Was easy.
It wasn't easy. It was difficult. I'm out of breath right now. I'm gonna sit down and relax and take in these beautiful views. Absolutely perfect day. So this is the highest I've ever been. This is also the biggest solo climb I've ever done. And now the fun part is getting down. As the great Northwest mountaineer Ed Beester says, getting to the summit is optional, but getting down is mandatory. So the quest to get down begins right here, day 58, Mount Whitney, California, right off of the Pacific Crest Trail. Well, this is what it looks like after summiting Mount Whitney. I had all this ambition of moving base camp out 4 miles. Nope. It's hunkered down in the tent, so it is ramen time. Right here in the vestibule. I had a marmot try to get into my bear can. It's also marmot proof, people. It's well worth the money. I'm just very fortunate that I had a really nice window of weather at the top of the mountain. So tomorrow, base camp is moving out, and hopefully I'll get to the bottom of Forester Pass, where there's another huge 13,000 foot climb to get to that spot. So that's life on the trail. Day number 50. Day number 58 on the Pacific Crest Trail, Mount Whitney. Here's what we're dealing with. It's a full-on blizzard, and I really don't know what to do right now. I'm in a 3-season tent, and the tent is not rated for a snow load. So I was faced with a choice. Either stay up all night, knocking snow off the tent, worrying about it collapsing, worrying about wind and snow, or I've made a decision that I'm going to pack it up. And I looked at the map, and I remember hiking by this little ranger station. It's about 2 miles away. I don't know if I made the right call or not. I suppose I did. Better safe than sorry. But I'll tell you, this fresh snowfall has done something that I never even considered. The smell it's the best forest smell I've ever smelled, and that says a lot because I'm from the Northwest. And I'm going to enjoy it all the way to the ranger station. You will note that I am not at the ranger station. Actually, I am. I'm way out in the front yard by the weather station. As I was hiking through the woods in the pitch black after crossing several streams around 9 o'clock at night, I could see 3 red lights. So there was people there. I walked up to the ranger station. I said, "What's going on?" No response from anybody. Nothing. I could even see somebody rustling around their tent with the red light on. So, hikers are weird people. By the way, if somebody comes out of the pitch black woods in the middle of nowhere with a headlamp in the middle of the night, you might want to check and see everything's okay. Just saying. Anyway, I set up my wet tent. Actually, I did a pretty good job of keeping it dry, at least the inside part. The fly is soaked, but everything else isn't too bad. So I'm pitched out here, 1,500 feet lower. There's no snow. Worst case scenario, it's going to rain. Could deal with rain. And, yeah, it was a big adventure today. So, now it's time to get back in the sleeping bag and hopefully have a really good night's sleep tonight and get ready for another day tomorrow on the Pacific Crest Trail. Day number 58, California.
May 19th, day 59. I saw one of the most beautiful vistas I've ever seen today. It was a flat place called Bighorn Flats. It's a huge open area with no trees, no boulders, no hills. Just a vast, flat expanse of sand and grass. It's situated on top of a mountain over 10,000 feet tall. In every direction, all around, are the rugged towering Sierra peaks with Mount Whitney presiding over it all. If it weren't for the snow and lightning, I would have camped there. I was all alone and was suddenly overcome with a feeling of humility and gratitude towards God. I reached my hands to the sky and gave thanks, then knelt on a small stone to express my thankfulness.
I'm sure that this is a geologist's dream out here. There's just so many interesting things, different kinds of stones and rocks, granite, quartz, basalt, mica, to name a few, and a whole lot more. I'm no expert, but really enjoying this portion of the High Sierras. Here you go, the High Sierras. And back here behind me, Junction Peak. You're at 10,000 feet. You pretty much have to be prepared for anything. I mean, it could be super sunny and hot, or it could be hailing like it is right now. It's actually more of a frozen rain type thing. But whatever it is, it can change in a moment's notice. At these high altitudes, the weather, it's its own animal, and you just have to be prepared for anything and everything. That's why these high altitude mountaineering experiences, you have to carry so much gear because you just don't know what's going to happen. You hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. I'd rather deal with the snow in the mountains than the heat in the desert at one point on this trip at day 61. And I'll tell you, right now I'm rethinking that statement. It's hard to see the trail. Gonna have to use some nav skills out here because the trail has disappeared. Well, one way or the other, I hope to get to some civilization today because I'm about out of food and all my stuff is wet and dirty. So this is proving to be one of the most difficult days on trail so far. I did manage to make it to the top of Kearsarge Pass. I have no idea how much altitude I climbed today, but well over 2,000 feet. So I came up from this direction. We're approaching whiteout conditions right now. But with waking up with wet tent, wet gear, limited food, a relentless snowfall, whiteout conditions, poor navigation, breaking trail, and it's 3:30 and there's still, I'm not even halfway done yet to get into town. I mean, there's still at least 6 miles of hiking to a campground where maybe I can get a ride. So this is a long day out here in the wilderness. One little caveat though, I'll be following tracks down. There were some people coming up, so from this side, so I won't have to do so much route finding and trailblazing. I'll hopefully be able to just walk in their boot tracks all the way down. But as a general rule, don't find yourself at the top of a mountain pass during inclement weather. That's my advice to you.
Day 65. After the storm passed, I took a bus to Independence. It was full of PCT hikers who were skipping the Sierras. JJ was going to Hawaii, Ferrari and Street Fighter were going to Arizona's Grand Canyon, and so on. I made a decision that if I could get a pair of snowshoes, I would continue hiking. I sat outside the Independence post office with a cardboard sign that said "Snowshoes Wanted." After a few hours, a guy named Dan said he had some. I bartered my compass and an REI gift card for them. There were no banks to be found in this small town. Dan gave me a ride up to Onion Valley, where I hiked my heavy 70-pound pack up to beautiful Lake Gilbert for the night. Now it is a beautiful morning, and Kearsarge Pass awaits again.
Day number 66 out here on the Pacific Crest John Muir Trail. Soaking in some much needed vitamin D right now. Also, I have the most beautiful campsite of the trip so far. This is going to be a short day for me. It's going to be hard to go away from this spot. I may end up just recouping, fixing some gear, soaking in some of this much needed sunshine as long as it lasts.
May 27th, day 67. I just got the awful news tonight that Bible has been reported missing. He was last seen near Kearsarge on the 18th, low on food. He never picked up his resupply box in Independence. This is very bad. He's very methodical, almost OCD. There is no way he would miss that unless something went very wrong. My prayers are with that kind man, wherever he may be. Please, Jesus, bring him home safe.
This is called The Mountain Beat Me Up Today, and this is the best I can do. I just don't have it.
May 29, day 69. Today I'm going to try and climb Mather Pass. Summiting these mountain passes are exhausting, and I'm making much slower progress than anticipated. I'm worried that I won't have enough food to make it to Mammoth. Today was a hard day in the mountains. I had low energy from the start. On top of that, I was post-holing all day in the soft snow. And there were more river crossings than I could count. I'm camped on slush, trying to warm my icicle feet. I'm missing civilization, and right now, it's tough doing this alone. But tomorrow is a new day. This too shall pass. After many nights of worry, I contacted Catherine, Bible's wife, via satellite messenger to see if there was any news regarding his disappearance. She quickly responded that he was currently in a hostel in Bishop, California, recovering from his ordeal in the mountains. What fantastic news this was. He sent me this text message. On March 28 at 1:30 p.m., I walked out of the Sierra Mountains in California. I walked 5.6 miles that day after a 17-day trial of faith through the wilderness. I have never been the same since or like I used to be before March 28th. Stephen Bible McGuire. He was malnourished, without food, suffering from exposure and frostnip. He was the happiest he'd ever been in his life.
Found this sun shower thing in that bear vault. So I filled it up, warmed it up this morning, and took a piping lukewarm shower. And I'm here today with actual human beings. Pony Express right here, stretching it out. What's up, Pony Express?
What's up, Knoxville?
How late were we up?
9:30.
It was 9:30?
9:30.
Oh my gosh.
Living large.
Is that hiker 3 a.m.?
Yeah.
Hiker 3. What's that?
It's a party.
It was a party. And just for the record, Pony Express, where are you from?
Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Now live in Burbank, California.
And dare I ask where you're from?
Seattle. Another Washingtonian on trail.
There's a lot of us. I think we like the Sierras because we have the Cascades. Anyway, that's the report here on lazy Sunday afternoon, actually Sunday morning. Day number 74 here out at the JMT/PCT. Day number 74, as I drop in elevation, I have found myself in the land of some cedar trees, as you can see. And one thing that I like to do, if I know I'm going to be camping tonight or tomorrow, which I will be, of course, and there's a possibility of a campfire, which there is because we're below 10,000 feet in the Sierras, is I like to take a little bit of this cedar bark, which is a lot like paper. Yeah, it's very dry. It's very fibrous. It's also very flammable. So what I'll typically do is I'll just take some of this and save it. And I'll save it for tinder for starting tonight's fire. And I'll sometimes I'll put it in a Ziploc bag. Sometimes I'll put it in with my garbage. Sometimes I'll just put it in my pocket. But it works marvelously for a fire starter, especially if you separate the strands a little bit. It burns just like tissue paper would. So just a little trick. You're always kind of thinking about these things because you have a lot of time to think. Day number 83. This was the campsite for last night. A fabulous view of Silver Falls right outside the front door. Fell asleep to the sound of the roaring waterfall last night. I said I was going to talk a little bit about Mammoth. I've never been so excited to go to a town in my whole life. It was over 2 weeks in the wilderness for me. 14 days, I think it might have been 15 days that I was out on the trail. Didn't go into town for a resupply, just hiked through the Sierras in the snow, in the nice weather, in the early morning, late at night, snowshoes, ice axe, crampons. It was the longest time I've ever spent in the wilderness. And I think that's about my limit, 2 weeks. I came into Mammoth, I had just run out of fuel, and I had one ramen packet left. Pony Express had given it to me. And that was it. So I just was running on fumes when I came in. And boy, was it nice to take a couple zeros, put some pounds back on, eat some food, rest the feet, rest the right hip. And it feels really good to be back on the trail. Although this time it's only going to be a week or less. And probably moving forward, a week or less. So I'm really happy that I did that. I think looking back, that 14-day stretch in the Sierras is going to be the most difficult and also probably my favorite part of the whole trip. I was solo for over 90% of that time, which at times was challenging, but I learned a lot, and I would definitely do it all over again. And hopefully someday we'll get the opportunity to come back to the Sierras and hike more of it. There's so much to see. I've just only seen just a fraction. Oops. Anyway, today's a new day. Gonna put some new miles on and see what lies ahead on the Pacific Crest Trail. Still about 3 miles off trail, 2 miles off trail right now at Rainbow Falls here at day number 83 on the mighty, just off the mighty Pacific Crest / John Muir Trail. Where's the snow? The snow is dissipating the farther north we get. This is you can see this is kind of cool. This is all marmot droppings, I'm pretty sure. And this is one of the most square cairns I've ever seen. Kind of neat, marking the path. Day number 85 right here on the Pacific Crest Trail. This is the campsite today. It looks like a legitimate campsite. Got some laundry hanging, got my tent pitched. Here's Hopper over here. She's camping with me today. She pitched her tent. I've prepared a nice campfire, which I was going to show you my preferred method for building a campfire. What I like to do is, first of all, if there's no ring, build a ring. If there is one, I get a flat rock like this, because this is a great tortilla warmer. And then I will fill the ring with this really dry pine needles. This works well in the Sierra. These are everywhere. And then stack dry twigs on top of it. And then I prep all the firewood, because there's nothing worse than running out of a good campfire. This is the top of Nevada Falls right here. And the Nick Point is almost... Day number 100 on the Pacific Crest Trail. Coming off the trail, we can see this Trail Magic van. Burgers on the grill, pizza on the grill. They've had people donate some stuff. They did most of this themselves. Alan and Bonnie, out of pocket. And there's just massive amounts of food. In the morning time, they cook bacon and eggs for everybody. And this is completely unexpected. I mean, nobody expected something like this. Usually Trail Magic is a cooler full of water, you know, in the middle of a dry spell. But this is above and beyond. This is next level. And it does exist. And I can't believe it, but I finally hit it. We even got bandanas. I mean, talk about thoughtful. Day number 100 has been a good day. In fact, what a way to celebrate it. Look at this beautiful spot. And even the company's not bad on day 100. What do you think? Not bad, huh?
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad for two dirty guys.
That's right. And it's just after a full moon, so the sky should be amazing tonight. Nice and bright. Moon comes up late, so the stars will be visible. Venus and Jupiter in the sky. It's the living.
After skipping 150 miles in Northern California due to wildfires, it was off to Oregon. Everybody said Oregon was going to be the easiest part of the trail. It wasn't. But I wasn't concerned. In fact, I was super excited because I'd be hiking some of it with some of my best friends in the whole world, Jared and Dave.
I can't tell if you're crying or laughing.
It hurts. He's laughing. It hurts. It hurts. Yeah. I mean, what else do you guys do? There we go. Okay. All right. Thank you.
We've known each other since kindergarten and shared countless experiences and adventures together. They are the two most capable outdoorsmen I know, and they were taking a week off with no plans. Jared and I went rock climbing on Smith Rock, went stand-up paddling, and swam in the icy waters of the Blue Pool. When Dave met us, we had no concrete plans. We ended up summiting the South Sister, summiting Mount Washington, and logging more miles on the PCT. The Sisters Wilderness area proved to be a fantastic portion of the trail, and I couldn't have picked two more fantastic people to share it with.
Look at Dave. It's like buried up to his ankles. Saying goodbye to the sisters in Mount Washington, And here's probably the best view of Black Butte we've had so far on the trip. And then down below is what I believe is still part of that huge 2003 forest fire. I think it was called the B&B complex fire. It takes the forest a long time to recover after a blaze of that magnitude. So we're just this is just on a south exposed ridge, and hopefully in the next couple miles I'll come around this ridge and come face to face with Three-Fingered Jack here at day number 137 back on the Pacific Crest Trail in Oregon. Good morning. Day number 139 out here in the Mount Jefferson Wilderness. And let's take a look at this amazing campsite. What a great view of Mount Jefferson. There she is. This feels like home to me. It's green, it's gorgeous. There's fir trees everywhere. A looming Cascade volcano in the distance. It feels like home. And I know that there's many more of these that await. There's still Mount Hood in Oregon, and there's a lot more in Washington State. So we will continue north today. But right now it's time to just chill out and drink coffee and take in this spectacular view of the north side of Mount Jefferson here at day number 139 on the Pacific Crest Trail. Here we go.
That was a pretty good drop.
Whoa. Oh, we have a really nice... Wait a minute. You know what? I hate it when they build stuff that's halfway done. It could be a really nice cairn. Yeah, let's fix this. There we go. So much better. Now we have a really nice complete cairn marking the top of the pass here. Number 143 on the Pacific Crest Trail. Couple things noteworthy here in Oregon. Number one, I had to get some water from this spot, which is kind of a difficult spot to get water from. I mean, it's very damp, but no clear, easy way to get water. So I made a little, I don't know what you call that, but it's put on like, I put it on like roof shingles. So the water kind of collects and just follows the leaves down. And look at that, a full bottle of cool, clear spring water. This is the Pacific Northwest, and for those of you that don't know, this is the land of plenty. Plenty of water everywhere, plenty of food everywhere too. It is worth mentioning that there are tons and tons of berries in this area. Not surprising, since this is the land of berries. This is kind of the end of the summer. And boy, the berries are out, and they will continue to be out and at altitude all the way into Washington. And it's a good time to see some bears too, because we're not the only things that love these blueberries. I've seen bears plowing through some of these blueberry bushes. This is the first real good look of Mount Hood that I've had so far. There she blows. It's been obscured by smoke and back by Mount Jefferson where I should have seen it, and then the rest of the time it's just been hiking in trees, so even if it was visible, couldn't see the forest from the trees. And I'm walking into the town of Cascade Locks. This is the town, it's small. Meeting some friends here for a cold beverage. And that body of water out there is the Columbia River, and beyond that is the Evergreen State, my home state of Washington. And it is good to be home. Last stretch of the trail. Just a few miles outside of the Bridge of the Gods. I had to say goodbye to Jennifer and Kristen. They turned around and are headed back home. It was really nice of them to come out and see me off. Really nice to have some good old hometown friends join me on the trail. This is the trail now. This is the deal. The Bridge of the Gods is the lowest point on the Pacific Crest Trail. And of course, it's the Pacific Crest Trail, which means I have to get back up to the crest of the mountains. So the next section is all uphill to gain altitude to get back into the Cascades. It's gentle, but altitude nonetheless. And it seems that fall has arrived in one day. It's really nice. Cool air out here, cloudy skies, and the leaves, I mean, it's kind of true in the Northwest. Fall comes in a hurry, comes quickly, and it's here. There's a bite in the air at night, and I'm enjoying it. So I'll just trek on here in the final state, Washington State. First section of the final state, Section A, day 159, here in the Green Tunnel, where fall has just arrived, in the Pacific Crest Trail. Day 161, Pacific Crest Trail, Washington State. And this is my campsite last night. Nice little spot nestled into the mossy green area here. This mossy green area is called Trout Creek. Pretty nice concrete bridge spanning the creek itself. Man, it's nice out here. Beautiful day, no smoke. Zero smoke. Skies are a little bit cloudy, but it's nice. The air is just crisp, little bite of fall. You can actually feel the oxygen from all the green foliage everywhere. And it is good to be here in the very lush, very green, very Pacific Northwest section of the Pacific Crest Trail. Look at this. This is pretty typical. This is what it's looked like pretty much the whole hike. Tons and tons of thick moss. Right now we're only at 1,400 feet, so once we get a little higher, of course, this is going to look drastically different. Thank you. Thanks for all of your work on the trail.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
That's a happy horse life.
Yes, it is. This is day number 164. That is a PCT Association volunteer crew. And they were just setting up the base camp with all those pack animals. So they go in, they bring all the heavy stuff, they set up the base camp, and then the workers roll in after them, and they will stay for weeks at a time doing volunteer work on the trail. That's how the trail gets to look so nice like this. All these people putting all those hours in basically by hand with a Polanski tool and a shovel and a pick, sometimes a chainsaw. It's amazing to think that there's 2,600 miles of hand-carved trail, but it has to be maintained, so thank you to all the workers who do that. Ted and I have found a beautiful vista here. Behind us we have the north face of Mount Adams with the, what do we think is the Adams Glacier right there. All that big ice fall coming off of it. And this is the first real glimpse of Mount Rainier. Straight ahead, floating in the sky. And then we were noticing this too. All that yellow stuff, we think that is sulfur on the top of the mountain. There is a sulfur mine on the very tippy top of this thing. And they used to trek up mules and camels, not camels.
Maybe
camels, who knows?
We weren't there.
Yeah, mules, donkeys.
Giraffes.
Yeah, there were giraffes going up that thing. I mean, who knows? Wildebeests, all kinds of animals were going up there and hauling out all that yellow sulfur from the top. That's a fact. You heard it here first, people. Day 164, Pacific Crest Trail, Washington State. Day number 165 in Washington State, hiking along with Miyagi. What was the phrase? What was the phrase you just said?
Are you kidding?
Are you kidding? We both said it. Look at this.
Are you kidding?
Are you kidding? Mount Rainier or Mount Adams right in front of us. This is the first real glimpse we've had. We're looking towards the west, looking at the eastern side of the mountain, hiking up this awesome section of trail towards the Goat Rocks Wilderness area, which we've caught glimpses of. But this, I think, is going to be the first official real good look of the Goat Rocks that we've had. We've only had glimpses through the trees, obscured here and there, just enough to tease us of what lies ahead. So here we're coming into Goat Rocks. It is stunning. Mr. Miyagi's already up here. But, wow, look at this. The camera's not gonna do it justice.
Countless layers of mountains.
Day number 170 on the Pacific Crest Trail in Washington State in Mount Rainier Park. And yeah, I just started my morning hike and look at this spectacular view. Huh? Actually, this northwest weather is a welcome sight. I love it. Maybe because it's been so many days of sunshine in a row. It's nice to have a little bit cooler temperature, a little bit mist, a little bit of precipitation, but it feels like the Northwest. It feels like home. And now entering the gloomy forest on top of it. This is great. So I suspect most of the day is going to be like this, hiking in the fog, hiking in the mist, occasional showers, probably all the way to Snoqualmie Pass. I'm afraid I'm not going to get any hiking done today. I mean, if my teeth are blue, that's the reason why. It's because I have stumbled into a patch of wonderful blueberries. And patch. That's probably the wrong word. It's an entire hillside. Look at all these berries. You see them? It's a whole hillside. So all of these red leaves everywhere, these are all blueberries. Or I guess some people call them huckleberries. I don't know what they are. I do know that they are delicious. And I've been stuck here for probably 30 minutes just eating berries.
September 8th. There's nothing like a Pacific Northwest forest in the fall. It is eerie and spooky, but it holds a strange fascination. I'm drawn to it, maybe because it's terrifying, maybe because it's where I grew up. I camped in the thick of it last night and watched an episode of The X-Files. I love it. Today was cool and clear with an occasional view of the J's section and the peaks that lie ahead. It is nice to scan the jagged horizon and see the profile of familiar mountains. Tonight I encamped on an abandoned logging road with the goal of Snoqualmie Pass tomorrow. An elk just bugled in the distance. I'm excited for nightfall.
So today's goal is to try to get to Snoqualmie Pass. Each day that passes by feels more and more like fall. So there's not much time left in this journey. I want to milk it for everything it's worth. So I'm going to be hiking with my friend Carl through the J section in Snoqualmie, from Snoqualmie to Stevens, with a possible side trip summit to Mount Daniel. We'll see how that goes. But as for right now, I am really enjoying the morning walk through the very damp, lush, thick Pacific Northwest forest in the mist on the trail. Day number 171 in Washington State on the Pacific Crest Trail. Day number 173 on the Pacific Crest Trail in the J section of Washington State. Started at Snoqualmie Pass, hiking here with Carl. You'll hear a lot of talk about this on the trail. This is a very unique section of the trail. It is the longest continuously dynamited section on the PCT. So all this rock has been blasted. Obviously the trail, this was just a rock face. You can kind of see how it comes down. Everything was blasted, and we just heard news that somebody perished on this section last week. Somebody fell off. I don't know how or why, probably taking a selfie and stepping backwards. But it is a long ways down. It's got a little bit of exposure. Let's take a look.
You want me to hold the camera over for you?
You want to do it? Okay. I don't like to get close to the edge, but Carl the mountain goat. Ah! Good morning. Day 176. We got ourselves a morning person over here.
Let's go.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's snowing. Can you see it? We're at, look, almost 7,800 feet right now, and it is definitely snowing up here. You can see Cathedral Rock right there, Peggy's Pond down below it, and our route was kind of up this way, and then we basically traversed this ridge up to here, and then cut all the way down below the snow on the rock. And now we've just been climbing straight up. So straight up we go. So this is a big night hike for the last probably 4 or 5 miles. It's a headlamp hike all the way to Stevens Pass, right?
Yeah.
I think that is true.
Well,
so
that's the aim.
that is the aim. We're going above and beyond the call of duty here. 24 miles, last 4 by headlamp in Washington State, 177 days in on the Pacific Crest Trail, Section J.
The last day on Section J.
Oh, yeah, last day of J. All right, it's day 184 on the PCT. Time to seize the moment while the moment is at hand. And that moment being the first real good look at Glacier Peak. There it is, in the remnants of a lenticular cloud hovering over the top, getting stretched out by the wind. This one up here is called Indian Head. And then, of course, moving over, we have the spiky one here is Clark. And then this one is Saul. Here, let's have one last look around this awesome vista here. Day 185 on the Pacific Crest Trail. Who says there's no jungles in the Northwest? Look around. There's all kinds of different fir trees and hemlock trees and moss and mushrooms and all kinds of stuff in here, but it is just, there's every color of green you can imagine in here. Kind of neat. There's beauty in pretty much every part of this trail, and this is no exception. Here at day number 185 on the Pacific Crest Trail, Section K in Washington State. Day number 185 on the Pacific Crest River. This is a muddy mess. Let's take a look. This is what the trail looks like all the way, like this entire thing. So I'm just gonna keep trekking in this. Part of me just wants to just stay warm by moving. And if I'm talking loud, I'm trying to keep my spirits up by listening to music. I got music cranking right now. So I'm gonna hopefully just crank that until, well, hopefully till the morning, if I can make it that long. So anyway, that's what's going on here. It's wild waves out here. Pacific Crest Trail. Day number 185 on the Pacific Crest Trail. Wow, what a day. I threw in the towel. I hiked for 16 hours straight today. The rain never ceased. It did stop once when it turned into snow. But in 16 hours, I only went a little over 24 miles. The trail was trashed. Blowdowns, washouts, mud, swollen creeks. The K section is in rough shape right now. I pitched my tent in a hurry in the middle of the woods, kind of in a puddle. In an effort to try to get a little bit dry and try to get some sleep. So it was a valiant effort. That's as far as I got. I didn't feel comfortable continuing on. At night, crossing streams, and I definitely didn't want to hike up to elevation again tonight with all the snow up there. So this is where we're at. Anyway, something tells me, despite the fact that I'm soaking wet, probably gonna have a pretty good rest tonight here at day number 185, Washington State, K section on the Pacific Crest Trail. Anyway, let's hope that today's a little bit better. Yeah, yesterday was seriously one of the toughest days I've had on this whole trip. So it's a new day today. Let's see what it brings here at day number 186. This is the North Cascades, ladies and gentlemen, in all of its glory. And it doesn't get much better than this. Truly one of the most spectacular views on the trail. Where are we at? Is this Cloudy Pass?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think we're right in the saddle of Cloudy Pass right now. On day 187, Section K in Washington State. Day number 189, just off the PCT on a bridge that goes over a creek that is called Bridge Creek. Here it is. The water is crystal clear. I'm not sure exactly where it comes from. It could come from the backside of Mount McGregor where we just were. There's a glacier up there. So this might all be glacial runoff from that. Let's take a look at the other side. Huge rock granite island and a nice little water slide / swimming hole right in there. Kind of a neat little spot. Look at how clear the water is. section L in Washington State. And this section of the trail is, it is ridiculously beautiful out here. I mean, this has got to be one of the prettiest spots on the whole trail. I probably said that a lot about a lot of spots, but this is. Cutthroat Pass is right here. It's the low spot. Everything is wide open. I mean, we've got this beautiful day also. And the mountains all around this area are all granite. Very reminiscent of the mountains down in Central California. All granite. And here we are coming around the corner. Of course, that's Silver Star Mountain right there. And we're swinging around. Rugged, beautiful mountains everywhere. But wow, what a day. What a day, what a spot, what a place, what a way to roll into Canada these last few days in this section of the trail. Absolutely stunning here at day number 192, section L in Washington State, right here on the magnificent Pacific Crest Trail. Woo! Day number 192, sitting atop the Golden Horn with a fantastic panorama all around me. What a great climb. It's funny how things work out. Until 2 days ago, I'd never even heard of the Golden Horn. I never even heard of it. But I saw it in the distance from Mount McGregor. And today, I had no intention of going down to the Snow Lake. But because I had a little extra time, I just decided to do a little bit of route finding and found my way to the Snow Lake. And until about an hour and 20 minutes ago, I had no intention of climbing this thing. It was just on a whim. So it's just funny how things work out sometimes. But wow, I think I'm just gonna hang out here for a moment and turn around and eat a snack and take in this priceless view. It is truly an unbelievable view up here. And what a day. I can't believe this day. Not a breeze, some cloud breaks, some sun breaks. You can see the sun rays. On top of the Golden Horn in the North Cascades. Day 194 on the Pacific Crest Trail. What a difference a day makes, huh? This is what happened last night. It just did not stop snowing all night long. And I'm at 6,500 feet. Here's my tent. This thing was covered. I spent the entire evening knocking snow off of it, getting up, taking my gloves and pulling snow away from the edges. Trying to keep it from collapsing in. But all of the larch trees are covered, the evergreens are covered, everything is covered, the trail is covered. So I've got a brief break in the weather where there's no rain, no sleet, no snow right now. So I'm going to try to pack everything up as quickly as possible and start trucking onwards in this stuff. And 2 days till Canada, and the PC has given me everything it's got so far. I've got the sunshine, the wind, the rain, a beautiful sunset, sleet, and now a snowstorm rolled through. Let's hope it's the last one here at day number 194. Just 36 miles from the border, I think, in the L section of Washington State on the Pacific Crest Trail in the North Cascades. You'll notice that there's no snow around me. And that is because I've dropped elevation. I think right now it's about 5,800. Snow level is at 6 right now. And ordinarily, the PCT would be covered in snow and socked in. However, I'm not on the PCT. This is a reroute. There was a fire near Holman Creek earlier in the year. And so the PCT is still shut down. I'm sure the fire's got to be out by now after that dumping of snow we got. However, I was not about to risk it. This reroute's about 4 miles longer, but it's a known commodity in the fact that it is a traveled trail and the fact that it lost some elevation and got out of the snow is a major plus. Day 195 on the reroute on the Holman Fire Trail, just off the PCT, and I am in the land of the quaking aspens, or some people call them the trembling aspens. They're all around, and they're perfect right now. This brilliant yellow color, and making it even more brilliant is that big bright thing up in the sky. It's been scarce over the past several days, so it's good to have a very brief break of sunshine amidst the rain. Tomorrow is Monument Day, and theoretically tonight I'm supposed to meet up with Mike and Connor not far from here. Good morning. Day number 196. This is the big day. This is Canada Day. And I'm still in my tent. I just made some delicious mashed potatoes for breakfast. And it is, I haven't even unzipped it, but you can see it's hailing outside. I'm just putting the finishing touches on packing up my tent. It has stopped raining and hailing at the moment. I'm up here at a place called Woody Pass. And 6,500 feet, you can look around. There's even a tiny bit of sunshine poking through momentarily. And I'm here with the boys. The boys are actually camped right down below. Right down here. There they are, getting ready. Last day traveling with the boys I started with. There's Mike up there. There's Connor, looking fit as a fiddle.
Oh yeah.
And we're finishing strong in this gnarly Pacific Northwest weather. What a way to go out.
Only fitting.
It is only fitting we go out this way, indeed. So we've got 4 miles of uphill. We're gonna climb up to 7,000 and we're gonna get hit with this the whole time, I'm sure. And then it's all downhill to the Great White North to Canada. Yes. And it's nice to finish with the boys that we started with, that we wanted to take a second day zero, actually.
Almost.
we wrecked ourselves the first day in various ways and had to rethink our whole trip, and who would have thought we'd make it this far. We have a couple of celebratory beverages on board right now. Mike has carried these things right here since when? Since Tehican. Through the snow, through the rain, the terrible flood, the earthquake, the locust.
Everything. There's a piece of wood here.
March 16. I write this final journal entry nearly 6 months after finishing the hike. I guess with all the chaos and excitement of completion and life, I just totally forgot to put a bow on this endeavor. We arrived at Monument 78 in the rain and were greeted by a small gathering of 10 to 15 people. Everybody clapped and cheered as we hiked in. The boys' dads were waiting with cigars and champagne. It was definitely an atmosphere of celebration. It was so serendipitous that the guys I started with, the guys I hiked with for the first month, are the guys I finished with. I wouldn't want it any other way.
Guess we're going with day 19.
19, what's our plan today, fellas?
20-mile day. Go past.
How many miles did we hike today?
16, I
This
think.
is our campsite. This is an 18-mile day for us today. An 18-mile day today for all. We all started together. Well, almost all of us. We started together. Connor. Here's the poodle dog bush. Disgusting, huh? Still frozen. What a luxury. Nice and slow down. Evidence of volcanic activity. This is a really... Does it get any better? I don't think so.
After stopping to soak it all in, we had to hike an additional 8 miles to Manning Park, in the snow, of course. My parents drove from Anacortes to Canada to meet me and pick me up. They patiently waited for hours for me to arrive. It was so wonderful to see them. I'm so blessed to have such a supportive family. Sitting here in the real world, I smile as I relive this moment. Not a day goes by that I don't think about the trail. Every step was worth it.
Day number 74 out here on the Pacific Crest Trail. I'm hiking along and I've found something that I've heard about for hundreds of miles now, but finally experienced. And this is it right here. This is a very large pine tree. And this is called a Jeffrey pine. And this is a large example of it, but they come in all different sizes. And one thing that makes this particular type of pine tree special is the aroma that it gives off when the sun hits it. I was hiking down the trail right here, and I stopped right here because the aroma is so strong. And it's something that happens when the sunshine hits the bark on this tree. I can smell it right now. It smells so good. It smells like a vanilla shake. It smells like pure vanilla extract. And it's a very sweet, fragrant aroma. But when I was hiking with Mr. Jimmy, he was telling me about his line of work. And he is an expert in trees. And he was telling me about the Jeffrey pine. And I've heard about this from Chelsea and a few other people also. But he said one way that you can tell, aside from the sun hitting the bark and smelling it, is the pine cone. He says it's not prickly when you hold it. He says, remember, it's a prickly ponderosa and a gentle Jeffrey. They're very similar trees. I think the ponderosa is the higher elevation version of the Jeffrey. It's not doing anything to assuage my appetite, but man, does it smell good. The vanilla scent of a gentle Jeffrey pine out here on day number 74 on the Pacific Crest Trail, right here in California.